Okay, for lesson 11 practice problems, what we have is there's a proportional relationship, which is nice. They got that right out of the way. There's a proportional relationship between the number of months a person has had a streaming movie subscription and the total amount of money that they paid for the subscription. The cost for 6 months is $47.94. So the point 6 is on the x. Okay, 6 is on the x. Okay, right there. That relates to 6 on the x-axis. Sorry. And what is it? 47.94. Which, I mean, we kind of have to eyeball this, but yeah, it's approximately right around there. That's not perfect, but it will do the job for right now. Okay, and so we've got that point shown. So on to the questions. What is the constant of proportionality? And so if we want to find the constant proportionality, okay, we want to know what the y divided by the x is. Y divided by the x. Well, in this case, what do we got? I think our c is going to be our y. So our y, we're going to use c for that, and then our t will be time for months. So to figure out the constant proportionality, we're going to do c, right? We're going to do c divided by t, right? Cost divided by time. So what you're going to want to do is do, what is it, $47.94? $47.94, and divide that by the time, which is 6 months. All right, do that, do the math there, and you should end up with $7.99. Could be wrong. No, I think that's right. $7.99. Right there. There's the constant proportionality. Go ahead and write that down right now. K equals 7.99. Okay? Not quite 8. Almost 8, but penny off. All right, what does the constant of proportionality tell us about the situation? Well, it tells us that each month, right? Because when you find the constant proportionality, you're finding the unit rate, right? You're finding the unit rate. So each month, for whatever service, I don't think any service is really this cheap anymore. This is maybe a little dated, but for this one, each month equals $7.99, okay, in cost for the service. Okay, so that's what that is helpful. All right, now for C, it says add at least 3 more points to the graph and label them with their coordinates. All right, this is kind of hard to do without being a little sloppy. So what I did was I kind of put a line on here already, and I'm going to move this. Try to get this just about right. There we go. Okay, so there it is. Now what I'm going to kind of do this backwards a little bit. Now I notice, hopefully you notice this too, but like this point right there, that's the point they gave us, right? We were also given a point. Oh, we weren't given. We figured it out. But 1 month costs $7.99. So here's 1 month right here, and $7.99. Well, this is where 10 is. So I would bet it's like right. Well, since that's where the line is, I'm going to say that's where it is. So that's going to be 1, comma 7.99. X on the 1 on the x, 7.99 on the y. Okay, so that's that. Then we can probably do I don't know, 7.99 times 4 is going to be 31.96. 31.96. So I'm going to do 4. I'm going to do 4, so that is going to be right there. Okay. So that's 4 on the x. Well, it's really t for time. And that's $31.96. Now, you don't have to put dollar signs when we're labeling coordinates. What else? And then I'm going to do 12. 12 times 799 is 95.88. So here's 12. That looks like it's right there, but that's not, I mean, that's not too bad. That doesn't look great though either. But let me just check my math. $7.99 times 12, $95.88. Okay, it's just probably the graph is not perfect, but 12, because 95 should be right there. Here's where 12 is. It's whatever. It is what it is. All right, I'll just put 12, comma 95. 88. So there you go. And then everything else, you want to know what 10 months cost? There's a good estimate right there. 10 months cost between $80 and $90, right? How much will 6 months cost? Right there. Well, we already knew that. How much will 8 months cost? Right about there. A little under 70, probably. Okay. So that's how much will 20 months cost? Right here. $1 million. No. Over 160. Probably over 170. Okay. All right. So we did C. All right. For D, write an equation that represents the relationship between C, the total cost of the subscription, and M, the number of months. So I should have labeled this as M. It's okay. I'm sure you know what this is. So I should have labeled that as M. So that's it. So you're going to do C, because that's our Y. So we're going to do C equals, our constant proportionality is $7.99, $7.99 per month, times M, number of months. And that's it. For number 2, this graph shows the amount of almonds in grams for different amounts of oats in cups in a granola mix. All right, label the point 1K on the graph. To find the value of K and find the value of K and label its meaning. All right, so 1K. All right, so it basically wants us to find the constant of proportionality. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find 1 on the x-axis, and I'm going to follow that up till I meet this line. So right there is where it should be. Okay, that's right there. Okay, so I find 1 on your x-axis, and that is going to be a good place. That's going to be a good location for where your constant of proportionality is. Also where your unit rate is, but right there is where it is. All right, so find the value of K and explain its meaning. All right, so I don't know what K is, but I mean, oh, you know what I can do? I can do this. I can. All right, here's what I'm going to do. It looks like a definite point right there. A definite point right there. That's point 250. That's 250. Okay, I was going to just kind of estimate this, but we don't need to. That's definitely 250. So if I do 50 divided by 2, you get 25. 25. So that's your K right there. K is got to equal 25. So this point right here is going to be 125. Right there, 125. See, just had to look around a little bit. And right here, here's 100. 4 times 25 is equal to 100. Right there, there's 400. See, it follows that perfectly. All right. If you wanted to, I mean, stay within the 25, there's 375, right? There's 375. See how that looks? All right. Now what am I doing? Am I doing anything? Find the value of k. Well, I did. We found the value of k. K is 25. Our constant of proportionality is 25. And explain its meaning. All right. So you know what? Do we have any? No, I'm just going to do, this is going to be C, and this is going to be A for almonds. Okay, so I'm going to do almonds equal 25C. Okay, to kind of put it in that, I'm putting in that y equals kx form. Okay, and so now it's easy to put that in words now. Almonds is equal to 25 times the number of cups, right? So the number of grams of almonds, right, is going to be 25 times the number of cups. So 25 times cups, the number of cups will equal the total grams of almonds. So if we have one, just kind of look at this, 1 cup is equal to 25 grams, right? 2 cups is equal to 50 grams of almond. All right, 3 cups, I'm kind of going off the grid here, but 3 cups is 75. It's very, very sloppy. Sorry about that. But hopefully you understand that. Hopefully you understand that. So number 3. Did I answer that question, by the way? Find the value of k and explain its meaning. Okay, we did that. All right. Number 3, to make a friendship bracelet. Middle schoolers, do you still do that? All right, to make a friendship bracelet, some long strings are lined up, then then taking one string and tying it to a knot with each of the other strings to create a row of knots. A new string is chosen and knotted with all the other string to create a second row. This process is repeated until there is enough rows to make a bracelet to fit around your friend's wrist. Now, a lot of reading in that one and somewhat confusing the way it's worded. But the question is, are the number of knots proportional, the number of knots proportional to the number of rows? Explain your reasoning. Okay, and so on this one right here, I mean, you just got to read it. I had to read this a few times because I don't make friendship bracelets. Maybe I did one time, but I think I did a really terrible job. But I had to read this a few times to kind of understand what it was saying, and that's probably what you need to do. But what I can kind of conclude here is that each row is going to have the same number of knots. Now it doesn't say how many knots. But it does say that it's going to have the same number of knots, right? So a new string is chosen and knotted with all the other strings to create a second row. This process is repeated, meaning that's going to happen. That same number is going to happen again and again and again. So what we can conclude is that each row has the same number of knots. Okay, so if each row has, I don't know, if each row, okay, if each row has, I don't know, one, first row has 1, and say it has like 8 knots per row. That means 2 rows will have 60 knots. 3 rows will have 24 knots. So you can kind of see that that's a proportional relationship right there. We're always getting 8 because of how I started it. 8 to 1 or 1 to 8. All right. All right. What information do you need to know to write an equation relating the two quantities that have a proportional relationship? Okay. Well, we need to know. The constant proportionality. All right, that's important. And what other information? Well, it's good to know if it does have a constant proportionality. Otherwise, it might be difficult to do this. It's not impossible, though. It's just not going to be the same kind of equation. It's good to know what's going to be our related values. In this case, we've got k to r or r to k. It doesn't really matter. I mean, if you look at the way I wrote out my table, if I wrote out my table like that, then I can say for that one, I'm just going to put it right there. I can say that k equals, k is for knots, not for constant this time. That can be confusing. But k equals 8r, So for that. Or if I set up because there was no rule saying I had to set it up this way. Let's say I put knots in the x column and rows there, and I have 8 to 1 like that. Then that's going to be r rows will equal 1/8, right? 1/8 the number of knots. Okay, so there's your two equations right there. Now I don't know if it asks to actually use a number, but I did. So what information? And hopefully I used the right values. I think I did. Okay, I'm done with that one.